Hi, I'm Carl Palme. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Rethink Robotics.
Okay. What does your job involve? Give me a few examples of the kind of things you do.
So my job is to ensure that we meet the needs of our customers, to ensure that their experience is delightful, and to make sure that they can get a return on investment when they use our products.
Now, what would you say the most interesting or best things about the Rethink Robotics machines are? There's two of them I know, but you tell me what the...
So the robot is very interesting because it is very different than any other robot, and it is meant to deal with a lot of variability in the environment. The way we do that is by using a 7 degree of freedom robot that can get into very complex situations. We also have a lot of force sensing throughout the arm, so that allows us to make logical decisions and adapt to changes in the environment. We also have a vision system in the hand, and that allows us to look at things and adapt to where they are so we can grab them correctly and place them in the right location. But we can also use that vision system to not only inspect a part, but also to re-register a robot to a work cell. And so if you look at our robot is on wheels. We can move it from one application to another, and we can use the vision system to look at a specific thing in the work cell, and then it'll understand exactly where it is. So that way you can make a line changeover in less than 5 minutes. On top of that, we give you the complete solution. We sell the robot, the software, the vision system, the force sensing, and we also now sell the end effectors. So when you buy our robot, you can buy everything that you need, and you can start automating a whole work cell in just the same day. In any automation project, the robot is usually only 1/4 of the cost, right? Having to put the cages, having to hire a programmer, having to adapt your work cell for the robot is what adds a lot of the cost. So at the end of the day, when you buy a robot, you're actually going to pay up to 4 times what you paid for the robot. With collaborative robots, and our robot in specific, what you buy, you pay for most of it. So when you buy a robot, you get everything that you need to get the robot going. And so we're using it a lot in small, medium, and even large companies, because before, automating a work cell was not feasible technically or from a monetary perspective. But because the robot is so inexpensive and because you can start automating very quickly, you can automate many more projects than you did in the past. And so for example, lines where you have a high mix, low volume type of application, where automating it would take you 6 months, with our robot you can automate that same day or that same week. And so it's much more feasible for those types of projects. And automation today, and manufacturing in general, is looking at more customized products. So you can think about the iPhone and all the different colors that it comes with, or all the different flavors. The consumers are demanding more customized products. And so in today's manufacturing world, it's very demanding, and by using collaborative robots and technology like ours, we make it feasible. Now, one of the nice things about our robot is that it's opened the doors to many industries in many different countries. And so we've had the privilege to look at what customers want to solve in all of these industries all over the world. And by using that information, we can actually foresee what the customers are actually going to need. Not what they want, but what they're going to need, and how to give them a delightful experience when they get our robot. And so we have a lot of insight into what customers need, but I cannot tell you what we're going to be doing next year, because obviously that's our competitive advantage. This robot is designed for machine tending applications, primarily, where the robot sits in front of a machine and it takes a part, puts it into the machine, and the machine does something to the part. It adds value to the part. That could be CNC machine shops, that could be testing equipment in the electronics industry, and that's actually one of the places where we've been very successful, both of those industries, where a part is coming down a conveyor, you take the part and then you have to put it into a tester. Depending on whether the part passes or fails, the robot can do many different things, right? Those are tests that are repetitive, and they usually demand that a person be on the line 24 hours a day. With our robot, we can automate that very quickly. And like I mentioned before, even if you have to do line changeovers throughout the day, and we have customers who actually do up to 10 line changeovers in a day, we can do that in under 5 minutes. And so it's very easy for them to just select the different part that they want to make, change the tooling, and re-register the robot for the new product that they want to make. So electronics industry has been very successful. Anything that has to do with CNC machining is also very successful, because they're very repetitive tasks that are usually very demanding on the user, because the user has to pick something, put into a chuck. It's usually sharp parts, but the robot doesn't care. The robot can continue picking the parts, putting them to the machine, getting wet. It doesn't matter. The robot can keep working, and you want to make sure that that machine runs all day, because they're very expensive. Now, another industry that's very interesting for us is the packaging industry, where, for example, you get different parts and you want to package them for different customers. And usually these types of customers don't know what they're going to package until that very same day. And with our robot, because everything's on wheels, when they get the order, they can move the conveyor, they can move the robot, they can move all the material, and the robot can actually help with the automation process. That is not feasible with traditional automation because everything is fixed and you have to create these barriers to all of these robots, so you can't really automate in the packaging industry, whereas for us, we can do that very, very easily. So that's another type of industry where we've been very successful. Currently, we distribute in North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, including Australia. We've seen a lot of success in Europe and North America in particular. You know, Europe and North America have high wages, and so getting a return on investment from our products can be as quick as 3 or 4 months. So that is obviously a big incentive for our customers to buy our robots in those regions. One of the things that really enables our product is the software behind the robot, right? It makes it so easy to use the robot. We use a programming language called behavior trees that anybody, without even having a technical understanding, can program the robot. But we also have the ability to teach by demonstration, right? We have the best teach by demonstration in the industry. And what I mean by that is you actually take the robot's arm, you teach it what you want it to do, and then it remembers. And we have some artificial intelligence built in so that it can make logical decisions as it's performing its tasks. But if you want to do something more complex with vision or with force sensing or even very complex logical tasks, you have our behavior trees, which are very easy to read, they're very easy to debug, and we've seen a great success rate with people who don't have technical backgrounds using our programming language. So even though we build the hardware, we build the grippers, one of the things that makes us very successful is the software that's behind running all of this in the robot.